Buenos días, niños. Hoy vamos a revisar las preguntas del capítulo de ciencias. Espero hayan podido ver el video aunque fuera o leer el libro mejor en el Hub, en Digital Resources. Por favor, hagan Imagine Math. Yo he visto que solamente creo que ahí imprimí solamente el reporte. Vi a Isaac que va de primeras, pero no sé si es últimamente o si eso cuenta desde hace tiempos. Pero tú tienes que ser responsable por tu propio aprendizaje. El que necesita aprender eres tú y nadie más que tú, y el único que puede saber si estás haciendo tu trabajo bien hecho eres tú. Bueno, tu mamá te dice, te explica por qué, pero el que en realidad sabes eres tú. Así que por favor cada uno ser responsable. A ver, toca hacer esto en inglés. Les doy gracias porque mi inglés yo sé que es difícil de entender. Gracias por ver este video. A vertical section of soil that shows the layers is called a vertical section. Vertical means up and going from up and down, vertical like this. Section is a part of soil. This is in, let me see, page 326. I don't have the picture in color, but this is the dark color, where the plant grows. This is like light color, and this is the bedrock. Bedrock, how do you say the bedrock? Yes, this is the rock, a mixture of rock and soil, and the topsoil. They call it horizon A. This is the profile. Where does it say? The soil profile. Yeah. A vertical section of soil that shows the layers is called a soil profile. Layers. So three layers of the rock, the middle section, and the top layers of soil. So this is the soil profile. Soil profile. So you can tell how the soil is. Sometimes the topsoil is very thin or very deep, so you can have many different profiles of soil. Coal, oil, and natural gas are examples of earth. Those are non-renewable resources. Non-renewable. Non-renewable.
Non-renewable resources is oil, coal.
Resources. This word coal is a type of rock. You have to extract it in a mine underground. Oil also is a liquid that you have to, it is underground, and natural gas, they are together sometimes, the oil and the natural gas, or the coal and the natural gas. They form from plants that were buried millions of years ago. And people burn it to make energy, the coal and the oil and the natural gas. They use the oil for many things, to make the gasoline. Okay, non-renewable, because it takes millions of years to form. The process of moving weathered rock from one place to another is called, okay, I have here the book. I printed in black and white because I don't have, color printer is very expensive. This is the moving, that's the erosion, I think. What is it? Erosion here. The process of moving weathered rock from one place to another is called erosion. maybe you can see erosion. Erosion. Moving weathered rock. So pieces of rock are moved from one place to another. Erosion. The rocks are moved by the wind, by the water, the ice also. When soil forms, it develops layers called layers are soil horizon. Those layers I showed you at the beginning. 3 layers of soil. The horizon A is topsoil. Horizon B is subsoil. Horizon C is bedrock. Those are the layers of the soil. Soil horizon. Soil horizon. Weathering by wind, water, and ice produces. The weathering produces sediment. Sediment. Not clear here, but it's pieces of rock. Sediment, yeah. The sediment are pieces of rocks. Where is sediment? Here. See. Here they are talking that the river carries rocks, pieces of rocks. And this is the water in a river. So a slow-moving water can carry only very small pieces of rock. So the river, the water carries pieces of rock. And when it is slow-moving, when it's fast-moving, can carry big pieces. But when the water is moving slow, it carries the small pieces of rock, such as sand and silt. These bits of rock are called sediment. So small pieces of rock moved by the water. The wind and the ice also can move them. Air, plants, water, and animals are examples of those are renewable resources. Renewable resources. Because they can grow again. The plants and the animals can grow. The air and the water, they clean. They get clean again. You know? And the plants also clean the air. And the rain through the water cycle. So the water cleans up again. So they are renewable resources. The process of rock breaking apart from water, wind, or ice is known as the process of rock breaking. The breaking the rock. The weathering. It's used for weathering. 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 With the weather. Because it's there the wind and the water, the rain, the ice is breaking the rock little by little. A river slowly erodes a steep hill, which causes sediment to travel downstream and to eventually drop through a process called what's it called? The deposition. Deposition. Yes, the river is carrying. Here we say deposition. The dropping of weathered rock by wind or moving water. The dropping of weathered rock. So the river, when the rain carries the pieces of rock, the river is moving fast, But when the river goes in the at the here at the it's moving slow, all the pieces are deposited, and the process is called deposition. The process of dropping the small pieces by the water. Okay, easy peasy. Okay, this word that many children miss is the coal, a type of rock, black rock that people can burn. You have to mine it in a mine. Okay, many household items are made from renewable resources. Which object is made from a renewable resource? Renewable resource that can grow again. Plastic bag is made from the oil or petroleum. It's the same oil or petroleum, the same thing. A liquid under the earth. All the plastic things, like the computer keyboard, also plastic. This is plastic. Motor oil, the gasoline and all oil. I don't know if I have the picture. No, I didn't get the picture of the non-renewable resources. Yeah, but it's not. What is the oil? They extract it. So this is wooden spoon. Wooden is wood from the trees, and this is a spoon. A spoon, okay. A spoon made of wood. So it's a natural, renewable resource. Soil is formed by the slow weathering of rock by water, which best describes the color of loamy soil. Okay, types of soil. Sandy soil, sand. Loamy soil, the one that you use to in the garden to grow plants. Farmers in the farm. The farm cannot have sandy soil. Not gonna grow anything. I don't know. Some plants can grow, but no. You need loamy soil in the farm. Clay-rich soil. No, it's not good for growing plants. Like Play-Doh. You have to know this word. Clay. It looks like Play-Doh. People use it for another thing, but not for growing plants or crops. Loamy soil. It's dark. A lot of that. A mix of sand, a little bit of sand, silt and clay, a little. Large amounts of humus. Humus. Make loamy soil. Humus are pieces of dead animals and plants. Loamy soil, make loamy soil dark in color. The humus make it dark. So, loamy soil is dark. No, it's dark. The one that you use in the garden, people buy it they sell it to grow plants, to put in a pot, and grow a plant. It's not light, it's not milky, it's not red. Maybe this tree, the clay has different colors. Can be red, can be milky, can be light in color. Also dark, dark clay also, but it's not loamy soil. Okay, the one that you use to plant in the farms that have loamy soil, they can grow plants. Kyle knows slow changes to Earth's surface are caused by many things. So changes to Earth's surface, and the mountains and the rivers, which would most likely be caused by deposition from ice. Deposition from ice. Hold on 1 second. Okay, this page 308. It's called Rocks on the Move. See the mountains, here ice on the top, the rain breaks the rocks and move it. When the river brings the little pieces, they call deposition. Here, no, I don't have a moraine. There was a picture of the moraine. It's like the ice. Sometimes the ice grows here and the ice moves down here and make like a little hill that the ice is moving the pieces of rock and silt, and the small pieces of sediment. Yeah. The erosion, no, the sediment. What's the word sediment? These big pieces of rock are called sediment. Yeah. The wind, the ice, and the water break the rocks and make sediment. And when the ice, for example, at the top of the mountain, the ice grows, and sometimes in the summer there is less ice. Or sometimes ice, and the ice is moving down, and melts. But the ice is all the time moving. And the ice is moving pieces of rock and deposits, and then drops the pieces of and make like a little hill. So that is a moraine. I don't have I don't have the page. I didn't print it. A moraine. A delta is in the river. When the river goes to the ocean, branches of the river and sediment, bringing sediment, make a delta. A glacier is at the top of the ice. In the North Pole also, in the South Pole. A glacier is made by ice. A dune in the desert is also like a hill. You see, but made of sand dune. Also at the beach there are small dunes. A moraine is deposition from ice. A moraine. And you have to repeat the video. Maybe you have to repeat the video and listen the pronunciation of the word. Mine is not exactly how it's said, but more or less a moraine. And let's observe this landform. This word is very important, landform. All the landforms that you have to know, the shapes of the earth. In Spanish, you need to know this word. It's called accidente geográfico. Very different, the word. Accidente geográfico. It's called in Spanish. You have very important word. The mountains, the volcano, all the shapes that you can see in the earth, in the planet Earth, peninsula, archipelago, island, all the shapes that you have to know. A cliff, you need to know what a cliff is. Un acantilado in Spanish, a cliff. Okay, this is a valley, lowland between two mountains. It's called a valley. A valley. Here the picture is not very clear, but two mountains and most of the time there is a river here in the middle, lowland between two mountains. It's a valley. A dune, no, a dune is like a hill of sand. An arc is in a mountain, kind of a bridge made of rock. And it's kind of a tunnel, an arc. Sometimes the wind and the water breaks the rock and somehow this piece on the top doesn't and makes like a bridge or like a tunnel. A delta, I already said the delta is at the mouth of a river. It looks like this most of the time in the map. So a valley, this is a valley. It was carved by a glacier. So the ice moves here because this is kind of a U shape here. Sometimes when it's only water, it's not like this, like very smooth. With the water, it's not. This one looks very like a U shape. With the water, is more like I don't know. The mountain is not so like even here. It has more. But this one, you look, is very kind of smooth. So it's made by the ice. A lot of ice has to move through the mountains and make a valley. In Spanish, very similar. Un valle. Landform. You need to know that word very well. For sure, they are going to ask you in the start next year. A valley. Sonia is examining the properties of a soil sample. She records the following observation in her science notebook. The soil feels grainy and coarse. Which property of soil does Sonia observe? She's observing the soil. Grainy and coarse. That's not the colors, no. You have to, when you see the soil, you can say it's dark or red, the color. The capacity of retaining water, no. Here, grainy and coarse is the texture, how you feel it. Yeah, you feel the texture. The capacity of retaining water, they make like an experiment. They put like how do you call that piece in I forgot the name of this, un embudo, un funnel. Un funnel, and put a piece of paper here like the coffee paper and put the soil there. And here they put a container like a baker or graduated cylinder, put water and see how much water goes through. The less water that gets here, more capacity to retain the water. The sandy soil doesn't retain much water. The clay doesn't let pass the water. So it's very important that they make that experiment to see the capacity to retain water. But it's not the texture, it's different. Ability to support growth, plant growth, you have to plant. Yeah, you have different pot, yeah. Different and see if the plant can grow or not. Different type of soil. Maybe a little plant or a big one. Different type of soil. The ability to support plant growth. Another experiment. But here the she's talking about how it feels, the texture. Okay. Look the picture of the delta. This is a river. And the river bring here pieces of rock sediment, but the water is moving fast here in the mountain. But when it goes to the ocean, it starts going slow, and make these curves like this, and the sediment is deposited, so it's called deposition of sediment. A lot of sediment and make this shape. They say it's like kind of a D. I don't know why letter D in there. So it's called a delta. Delta means D. The word delta is the word for the letter D in Greek, I think. An airplane pilot observed the following landfall from his plane. It looks like that from in the plane. Which statement explains how slow changes to Earth's surface cause it to form? Deposition and erosion from wind. No, from wind like the dunes, in the desert, those are for wind. Erosion, sand dunes. Es dune. Duna en español, dune in English. Erosion and deposition from water. Yes, this is from water, so this is at the river. Here erosion, up here erosion. When the rains break the rock and bring them the pieces of rock, that's erosion. And here deposition. Deposition and erosion. Those cause the delta to form. Erosion and weathering from ice. No, that's the moraine. You remember the moraine? The moraine. I don't remember how to write moraine. But they are erosion and weathering from ice. Deposition, no, this is weathering, not different. The deposition from ice makes the moraine. Weathering and deposition from wind. It's the same. The weathering is like the erosion. And deposition, this is the same. From the wind. So the delta is formed by the river made by the water. It's very clear that this is a river. During science class, Liu Chen conducts an investigation to examine the properties of type of soil. He consults a chart to record his observation as shown below. So, okay, different type of soil, 4 samples of soil. And this number 1 is sandy, coarse, and large grain, so the texture. Fine clay, rich particles, like clay, you know the Play-Doh? The same, it feels like Play-Doh. It's the texture also, because it feels like Play-Doh. It's the size of the particles. Milky color and smooth. Could be clay also. Loamy, rich in humus. Which soil type would be the least well suited to retain water? The experiment. Then they have a funnel. How do you say funnel in Spanish? Un embudo, a funnel. And they put like the coffee paper as the filter. They put the filter in the funnel and they put the soil there. And put water. You know. You have to measure the water. Let's say, for example, like the bottle of water is 250 milliliters. 250 milliliters. 1 bottle of water. And here you have the graduator cylinder, in milliliters. And measure how much water you get here. For example, you put 250. And then here you have, for example, 200 of water here. So the other 50 is retained by the soil. But if you put sand, it's not going to retain almost nothing. If you put clay, the clay doesn't let the water go through. Here you want the least to retain water. The least to retain water. So this one is the one that doesn't retain the water. This one retains the whole thing. This retains all the water. It doesn't let the water go through. Maybe this one could be the same, but it's smooth. It feels smooth, so like the clay. And this one retains a little of water. Doesn't retain all the water, but it doesn't. Yeah, it has to retain so the plants can grow. The loamy soil is for the plants needs to retain some water, so plants can grow in that type of soil. This one, the sandy soil, does not retain the water. Okay. Bueno, entonces the least, it does not retain water, the least. Okay, 16. Eileen is doing a report on landforms caused by slow changes to Earth's surface. Which topic in her report is most likely caused by erosion and deposition from wind? So a landform. A glacier moraine. Glacier means ice. The ice can carry pieces of sediment and make like a hill, but this is when the ice makes a moraine is a little, no, a hill, let's say a hill, but the ice, this ice, the ice is kind of where the ice melts. The ice melts and the sediment make a small hill. It can be kind of big hill also, but most of the time a little hill, but by the ice. Yeah, from the wind. The delta river, this is the water. Yeah, we already said the erosion and the deposition of sediment by a river, so by the water, not by the wind. They are asking by the wind. A sand dune, yes. Have you seen in the desert, like look like also like hills? Like a small, it can be kind of big also. Small and big, a dune. At the beach also, in the beach. The desert and the beach, you see sand dunes. But the position from the wind. The wind takes and moves the sand. A sea arc, but in the water most of the time. The waves of water and make like a bridge from where there is water here, and make this is a rock, this is a bridge of rock, and there is like a tunnel here, and you see a bridge, a sea arc. I don't have the picture, but you have to repeat the video if you don't remember what a sea arc looks like. They have many pictures in the book. Okay. So the landform caused by the wind is the sand dune. Okay. And the Wayne family takes a trip through the desert. He observes an ark. An ark is like a bridge, I already told you, an ark. Which statement best describes how the desert rock formed? Okay, I told you that the water and the wind can make an arc, but here in the desert, okay, let's see, water and ice, but the position is not by the position. For sure, this arc cannot be made by the position. Maybe the position occurred at the beginning to make, but then the water and the wind blowing, breaking the rock until they make a hole, a cave, and the cave goes through all the way like a tunnel and make a bridge. That's the arc. It's not from the position, no. Weathering, yes. Weathering because eroding or causing erosion to the rock. For example, there is a mountain, yeah, and the mountain start breaking, and then the last thing that they have is the arc. Maybe the arc is gonna break someday. If the weathering continues, it's gonna break the arc. But you can see the arc, but it's not from the position. It's weathering. Water and wind. I think water and ice. I don't think in the desert water and ice. Water and wind. Yeah, those arcs. They have a feature that's very clear. The wind has a lot to do. The wind is carrying small pieces of sand, and the wind blowing with the small pieces of sand is gonna break the rock until it makes, I don't know how many hundreds of years, I don't know, but the wind blowing and blowing breaks the rock and make like a hole or a cave, and finally an arc. So I don't know if it's clear that I'm talking about. Okay, people use land resources to help them meet their needs. Coal is a fossil fuel that people mine from the land. They mine it in a mine. They burn coal to make electricity. Which type of resource is coal? A very important question for sure in the STAR test in 5th grade. A green living resource. No, the coal is a rock. It's a rock, type of rock. It's not a living resource. A green energy resource. They burn it. When they burn it, it makes pollution to the air pollution, because they have to burn it. Because they burn it, they cause air pollution. Not good for the environment. It's not green energy. Coal is not green energy, but because it makes air pollution because they have to burn it. A renewable energy resource is not renewable because it's a rock. It takes millions of years to form. A non-renewable, yes, it's a non-renewable energy resource, the coal, a type of rock that formed from the fossils of plants millions of years ago. Okay, the last page. Oh, this one I have to. Okay, this one I have to print it. This is the experiment. This is sand. And he's doing an investigation. He puts each. Okay. Two Earth processes being modeled describe what will happen when Anish pours the water over the sand. Predict what will happen if Anish propped up one end of the pan before she poured the water over the sand. So what's gonna happen when you put water? The sand is gonna move. The water is gonna move the sand. And if you propped it, you lift it on one end, so the water is gonna go the other way, and carry the sand, or it's sand. So it's a model of erosion and deposition. Here I have the answer from the book because kind of hard to. Yeah. So it's modeling erosion and deposition by moving water. So he's putting water, he's making like a model. It's a model. What happens, for example, when it rains? This is pouring water like the rain, modeling the rain. Some of the sand will move or be eroded by the poured water. So a model of the erosion, the process of the erosion. If one end of the pan is propped up, the water will carry most of the sand to the lower end of the pan. Yeah. So a model of erosion and deposition. What happens? I told you with the picture of here. The erosion, the rain is gonna erode the rock, break it, and carry it and deposit the pieces at making a delta at the mouth of the river when it comes to the ocean. We are calling erosion and deposition of the rock. Okay, yeah. The sand to the lower end of the pan where it will be deposited or dropped. Okay. So try to read this, and you have to write something saying that the water is gonna move the sand. Some model of the erosion and deposition process that you have to know about. Okay, slow changes to a surface by water over the long period of time from many of Earth's form many of Earth's landforms. Describe the process that shaped each of the following landforms. A canyon, moving water away the land and erodes sediments. The action of the water forms a gorge between cliff and rock. Okay, I don't know. Gorge is a synonym of canyon. Canyon. Okay, I'm gonna imagine you have two mountains, and there is a river here, and the river is start carrying like eroding the mountains, the rock, breaking the rock. And then you will have something like this, the mountain like this, and the river here in the middle. So you have a cliff here, a cliff, two cliffs on both sides of the canyon. At the beginning you form a valley, but the valley is going deeper until it becomes a canyon. It takes millions of years, I think, or hundreds of thousands of years for a valley, the river in the middle, and the rain to form a canyon. A river delta. Moving water erodes sediment and deposits them at the mouth of the river to form a delta. Yes, the picture that I told you of the river. Here this is the river, and the sediment, when you go to the ocean, here you cannot see very well, but the sediment. Here also you have like I know this is a dam. But when you haven't gone on a plane, maybe if you go in a plane, you can see the river, the New Orleans. They have the Mississippi River, a big delta, and the river start like making like branches, like that. Here is the ocean. Let's see the ocean. And the sediment starts like growing, be deposit here, the sediment. Call up the process of deposition of sediment, pieces of rock or pieces of yeah, very little pieces of sediment, deposition of sediment. Yeah, here, erode sediments and deposit them the sediment. Okay, delta, at the mouth of a river, a river delta. For sure, for the start test. The action of the arc, a sea arc here, a sea arc. It looks like a bridge. You know what a bridge is? Made of rock. It looks also like a tunnel here, but it looks like a bridge. Rocks, made of rocks. Yeah, you see like oh, how come it very young? You say, wow, how it came to form that landform. The action of waves weathers away rock and erodes sediments. Yeah, it breaks the rock, it breaks the action of waves, yeah, the water was breaking, and also the wind. Sometimes in between there is like a mountain here and makes the wind goes all the time that way. The wind is blowing, and it's always hitting that rock until and small pieces of sand and push and breaks the rock and makes the arc. The action of waves weathers away rock and erodes sediments. Okay, a sea arc. A soil profile is 135 meters deep. Horizon A is 47 meters deep. Horizon C is 27 meters deep. How deep is horizon B? Like the par hole problem. I'm gonna draw the profile of the it's a par hole now. The whole profile is gonna be how much? 135. The whole thing is 135 meters deep. And from here is the plants here at the top. And there are roots of the plants, yeah, the profile. Here, the top part is the soil, the horizon A. Horizon A, yeah? Horizon A is 47. Horizon A is 47 meters. That's the topsoil, they call it topsoil. Then you see here I have the topsoil, the subsoil, and the bedrock. Those are the three layers. Here in this copy you cannot see very well that this is dark, like black, this is kind of brown, and the rock is kind of gray. So you have horizon B, forgot the name again, the subsoil. This is the topsoil and the subsoil, you don't know how much, what they are asking. And the horizon C is the bedrock. The bedrock is 28. So you have to add these two numbers and find this one. So 47, 43, 47, yeah, 47, I cannot see very well. This horizon A and horizon C is 28. 7 plus 8, 15, 1. 4 plus 1, 5. and 275. Yes, 50, 75. 50, 75, yes. And the whole thing is 135, so you have to subtract 135 minus 75. 5 minus 5, 0. You can say these two together. 13 minus 7. You can 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 6. So the answer is 60, yeah, 60. Oh, okay. How do you say in English? In Spanish I say the yes plus the no equals the total. The total minus the yes, the part that you know, equals the no. So you have to know these two parts. We do it like this. Two-step problem. 135, but the two pieces that you know, 47 and 28 together, and the part that you don't know, B, it's in the middle, but I put it here. I'm changing the order here to do the math. You put this together, it's 75. And then you do 135 minus 75 is going to tell you this part. Okay, back to Spanish. Me toca decirle, a ver, esto hoy es viernes, ¿no? Entonces el lunes empiezo a revisar el STAR 2018 que le mandé el link, el enlace. Hoy le mandé el enlace, pero yo ya le había dicho, va haciendo unas 4 o 5 preguntas. Cada uno tiene que ser responsable. Ya sabe esa palabra, responsable. Responsable de su aprendizaje. Yo no puedo estar, ahorita sí que menos. Si en la clase yo le decía, yo no puedo estar ahí uno con uno mirando y preguntándole a todo el mundo, y diciendo mire al tablero y todo eso. No, cada uno tiene que ser responsable de si está aprendiendo o no está aprendiendo. De lo responsable de su aprendizaje. Y segundo que todo, que lo primero es que sea responsable, y lo segundo es que usted tiene que usar Imagine Math. No me diga que no sabe qué cosa es Imagine Math. En la escuela lo usaba todo el tiempo. Eso está hecho para que usted solito aprenda. Ahí hay una forma de hacer chat, de mandarse texto con un maestro, ya que eso tiene un poco de maestros dedicados a eso. Y bien caro que pagan la escuela por eso. Bien caro que se paga y tú lo pagas porque tú pagas tus impuestos. Tu papá paga los impuestos con la renta y todo eso. Pagando bien caro ese programa de computadora. Imagine Math. ¿Tú sabes cuál es Imagine Math? En el Hub o en Digital Resources. El muñequito ese que parece como una estrella ahí. Tiene que hacer Imagine Math, por favor. Vea que lo pongo bien en mayúsculas para que me entienda. Tienes que hacer Imagine Math y como tienes que hacer Mayon y como tienes que hacer todos esos de Imagine Ring y todo. No estás en la escuela, pero tú tienes que ser responsable de tus cosas. ¿Cómo serán los que ni siquiera ven este video? Bueno, los que lo están viendo, que sea como que son responsables. Los que no lo ven, ¿cómo será? Entonces nos vemos el lunes y empezamos con el STAR, que ya le mandé el enlace. Bueno, saludos a sus papás.